game is like the epitome of, we have blank at home, only with more glamour and paywall padding. Pokemon Champions is a game that really no one wanted. But in honesty, it's a pretty alright addition to the Pokeslop that I've already been chewing on recently, considering I have paid for the Legends ZA DLC. It's really nothing special. Honestly, it's just alright at best. But as this title says, it is technically a nothing burger, and I'll continue to call it by a nothing burger. And by nothing burger, I mean it's edible. That's it. It just isn't anything. So, unless you're starved of Poke content, yeah, it was honestly for no one. So yes, this video is yet another video saying why Pokemon Champion sucks, but I'm here to help inform you and manage your storage space on your Switch or your phone, and also your money wisely, so you don't have to watch an IGN review. And since I respect your time so much, I'm just gonna cut my intro time here and get to the bits of what makes Pokemon Champions a nothing burger. Starting with why it's kind of alrightish. Revealed in February last year, which is kind of a long time ago considering I'm now 1 year older than I was when the reveal dropped, Pokemon Champions is a pretty decent looking version of Pokemon Showdown. And don't get me wrong, I love being able to pick between older generation sprites and 3D models, but it kind of just pales in comparison to the actual in-game graphic animations. Gone are the days of watching your Pokemon move from one part of the screen to another, or shooting a beam at the other side. Now you actually have animations that show you cool effects. I mean, yes, this isn't some ultra hyper realistic 4K 520-30p resolution of a AAA game that runs on Unreal Engine and is owned by Ubisoft. It's just a still decent quality for what it is, and that is, in heavy quotation brackets, a free game. Aside from that one lady at the counter who looks like she's gonna offer you a free kidney transplant in the back of an alleyway, the Pokemon idols and the UI looks pretty nice. Another neat thing about the game is that it's free to download. Okay, right. So the actual good thing about Pokemon Champions is that it's a great start for beginners who are new to battling. Mainline games have the inaccessibility problem of the all-famous, and say it with me now kids, Nintendo Online Subscription! I mean, it's pretty annoying to have to go and form your own team meticulously, only to get shafted by not being able to battle online because you didn't pay for Papa Nintendo's custom Wi-Fi router that has to travel through 12 different radio signals and wire cables before it reaches your Switch and causes you to disconnect, lag, or more. Here at Pokemon Champions headquarters, we dished that router and went ahead and made our battles free. Another accessibility upside is also, hear me out with this one, ceiling of entry. See, I suck at Pokemon Showdown, okay? I'm low-rank Roma, and I will sit there permanently. As someone who blindfoldedly ran into competitive Pokemon, I got mollywopped and hit with debacle, obscenely hard by different mechanics, tiers, Pokemon, clauses, and everything under the sun, which kind of just stunted me a little. In comparison, Pokemon Champions is less heavy on mechanics, simplifying it a little and making it so you don't have to learn about Strojiga's Iron Valley, and is just more willing to let you play the game with no added padding. Okay, not that kind of padding. It's clear that Pokemon Champions is a mix of mainline battling and competitive Pokemon, trying to bridge the gap, and I mean, why else did they add singles and doubles? Let's see here. Is there any benefits? Is that the entire segment? Are you kidding me? Anyway, yeah, I know I'm reaching at things to like about the game, so Pokemon Champions is a game. And that is a statement. It really is just key jingling on hope of a decent, official Pokemon battle simulator for people who really want a nice alternative. And instead, we're stuck with another free-to-play Battle Pass style game that relies on you spending money for better quality of life. And it is, unfortunately for some of you who like the game, predatory. I'm talking locked box spaces for Pokemon behind a $44.07 a year subscription with the added benefits of just having more music. Level of predatory. It sucks. It really sucks. Especially if you're just someone who just wants to theory craft and test teams. But you can't even do that. Because in Pokemon Champions, the whole random encounter system makes it luck based on which Pokemon appear in front of you. If you had a VGC team you were hoping to build, you better kiss the Switch and pray to Papa Nintendo for good luck because you sure as shit may have a really hard time. Even if you transfer Pokemon and then you start creating so many teams for your different ideas on what you want to play, you wouldn't even have enough box space for the Pokemon to fill it. So it's locking it behind a subscription wall, which is really, really sucky. What's even worse is regular people who already hate non-damaging moves are gonna hate them even more. Now they'll find a new reason as to why they hate Torkoal with Will-O-Wisp. Oh, but what about being able to get into singles and VGC? You said there was a lower skill ceiling, especially since they reward you for looking at the tutorials, to which I say, you don't even get 6v6 in singles. It is limited to 3v3. You also do not get legitimate plays in ranked. Sometimes they just give you bots. So seriously, it's that bad, and honestly, it just makes me want to 14 years ago, on October of 2011. God, that makes me feel old. Released on October 2011, Pokemon Showdown has been a staple for competitive Pokemon. Not only is it free, but it has unlimited box spaces for you to make Pokemon teams in, and it also doesn't have a VP system for you to use items. It's great accessibility-wise, and you can use every item in the game prior and current to use and try on all Pokemon that have ever existed. While it isn't on the Switch, it can be accessed through the internet very, very easily. Seriously, try it. Go to Google, look up Pokemon Showdown, and it's free. It does not want your money. On top of that, you have different tiers which balance out more busted Pokemon or give spotlight to worse Pokemon depending on the tier you are playing in. And while no, this video isn't an ad for Pokemon Showdown, it's just simply here to say it's better as a Pokemon battling simulator than Pokemon Champions by a large margin. So, in conclusion, don't bother playing Pokemon Champions.
This is most disturbing.
Okay, in the end of the day, Pokemon Champions is free. While, yes, it is objectively a worse version of an already existing and functioning to a high degree alternative, it is still free and it's an official way to Pokemon battle. It doesn't need Nintendo Online, so that's a bonus, and it looks pretty fun when you see signature moves and all that jazz in action. But still, if you want to play a reliable simulator that has better quality of life, go to Pokemon Showdown. Anyway, I'm not your dad, so go play what you want. Just do not buy that PAX.